I used to be the kind of person that would stay up late and wake up late. Oftentimes I would find myself still awake playing video games up until the sun rising, and I thought, oh no, it really should be time for me to go to sleep. But these days, probably for about the past 3 years, I became a morning person, and it's only been a really small portion of my life that I have actually been a real true morning person. It was before all of this, when I was not a morning person, I was more of a nocturnal person. I was scared of doing things in the morning. I was actually having anxiety over the planning anything early in the morning because I thought, I'm scared I'm not going to get enough sleep. I'm going to feel really tired, and I had a lot of anxiety around that. I still carry some of that anxiety today. If I think about planning something in the morning, I get worried about it. And it's funny because I usually wake up between 5 and 6 a.m. And if I plan something for 9 a.m, I've already been up for upwards of 3 hours by that point. So it's really not a problem. However, because I've spent most of my life with a bad sleeping pattern, I still get worried about it to this day. Still get that anxiety about it. And I'll be thinking, oh, I've got to get up at 9 a.m. and I'll lie in bed. And what used to happen to me all the time is I get this sort of pang of fear, and an anxiety would fill me while I was lying in bed and be like, oh my God, I have to get up in the morning. It's just funny because now it's not a problem. And over time, the longer and longer that I've been a morning person, the easier this has become. And there's been a long list of benefits for me becoming a morning person. And I wanted to talk about this because I never thought that I would ever be a morning person, ever. I thought I was just one of those people that were wired to work and live late. Like I used to do shifts at the care home when I was younger, and I used to enjoy doing the shifts that ended at midnight because it worked for me back then. That was my, I thought, circadian rhythm. I guess it was at the time. But now that I'm a morning person, I couldn't imagine anything worse. I like to be in bed on time. Maybe it's just an age thing. You know, I'm in my 30s now. When I was in my 20s or my late teens, maybe I just was the kind of person that would be up late. But anyway, I love being a morning person, and I just want to talk about some of the benefits that I found becoming a morning person as a late bloomer to the morning. I do remember the first time that I was at home. So basically I was at hospital and I've got diagnosed with an inflammatory bowel disease. It put me in hospital because it flared up so bad, and I was given these medications by the nurse every day at 6 a.m. So that put me in the routine of being a morning person. Then I got out the hospital and I carried on waking up at 6 a.m. Still do to this day, years later. And I remember going out for a walk and seeing the morning sun, the sunrise. And I thought, wow, I've never really even looked at the sunrise before. And then suddenly it was a daily occurrence for me. I could go outside and see the sunrise. Now this was a novelty. It did eventually wear off, you know, I don't find it as fascinating anymore. I see the sun rise and set every day now. It's funny to say that because the sun rising was a surprise to me before, and I'd have to go to bed. And it signified, it's bedtime, mate, you got to go to sleep. But now, I've already been up a couple of hours and the sun starts to come up. Anyway, it's just nice to be able to see that after years of feeling that I was a nocturnal person. Another thing is the quiet and solitude of the morning. That's something that I actually have grown to really appreciate and love. It's that alone time that I have. I have time to have breakfast and wake up, and then I still have hours to work on whatever I want. And it tends to be I will make videos for YouTube in that time, or work on whatever sort of personal self-employed work that I have. I've got that quiet time in the morning to do it, and I can set myself up with plans and to-do lists, and I can do those in the morning. Another thing is it gives me lots of time to actually prepare meals that are healthy for me. I can double down on having a better diet because I've got so much time. I can prepare, I can get all the vegetables out, I can roast meats, I can roast potatoes, I can make myself healthy meals, I can package it up to take with me to work. I can prepare myself healthy snacks, and I don't have to rush around and eat unhealthy snacks because I ran out of time. So that's another benefit to waking up in the morning. Another benefit that I found is I actually fall asleep easier. You see, before, when I was a person who thought they was a nocturnal person, I actually really struggled to go to sleep. I'd basically just have to lie there until I passed out. And this was a daily, well, nightly occurrence. And it left me feeling pretty awful, really. Every night I'd sort of have this sort of anxiety and fear over, will I fall asleep properly tonight? And when I did finally fall asleep, I get the amount of sleep that I needed, but it felt like this sort of nightly battle that I had to go through to go to sleep. And I hated it, to be honest with you. I absolutely hated it. It was horrible. I wouldn't want to go through that again. And just now that sleep got very regimented sleep pattern now, I find it so much easier to go to sleep. Now that I know, I'm getting up between 5 and 6 a.m. I'm in bed, I'm probably getting ready for bed about 8:30. I'm in bed about 9, and I fall asleep pretty quickly after I do my nighttime regime, and it feels fantastic to be able to do that. And now I feel like I have so much more energy. I'm so much more of a productive person, and that energy follows through to every morning when I've got all that alone time, and I can use that energy to work on the things I like, double down on eating healthy, exercising in the morning. It sort of just compounds into feeling better and better and being more productive. So I'm not saying that you should change your sleeping patterns, become a morning person. I'm just telling you how it improved my life. And when I look back at the times when I was a nocturnal person and I didn't enjoy that, and all of the stuff that went with that, the anxiety, the fear, will I fall asleep tonight? I'm scared of scheduling things for the next day. I'm so much more of a calm and happy person now that I just know I'm going to get up in the morning. I can plan things, I can do things. Yes, it still affects me. I still have that sort of fear that I've trained myself to feel, but it has waned over the years and I feel so much happier for it. So those are my thoughts on loving being a morning person. And let me know what your sleeping pattern's like down below. Do you find it hard to fall asleep? I know a lot of people do. Where I work, I speak to a lot of people, and one of the first things I usually like to ask is, how did you sleep last night? And they'll tell me, I've got maybe 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, and they'll be sat there drinking energy drink, and they'll try and lightly suggest some tips. But I don't like to try and lecture people. I save that for when I like to go on and on in these videos. So yes, I know sleep is one of the things that probably many of us, if not everyone, struggles with. Not everyone's going to get perfect sleep unless you're Brian Johnson. And if you don't know who that is, give him a search. And maybe that's a topic I will talk about in the next video. So anyway, thank you for listening to me today, and I hope you have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.